Welcome back, y'all. Today
we're gonna be picking up rocks.
we're gonna go pick up some rocks. That's the first thing to do on the list today. We've got several little odds and ends. I'm hoping that during the video what y'all see is them daggone guineas. I'm hoping what we get the video for y'all today is we got a brush pile that we had down here in the pasture in the main pasture here at the house that we burnt, I don't know, a couple weeks ago now. I spread everything out last night, but I want to get it fixed before we turn our cows back out on the grass. So I need to get the rocks and any chunks of wood or anything like that that didn't burn. I need to get that out of there. And then we're going to be planting some garden today. So just hang tight with us. And let's see what all we can get done. Mama and Jacob's in the house right now working on schooling. As soon as Jacob gets done, Maggie's got to go in and do some testing. So we'll be switching out kids here during the video. But anyways, let's see what we can get done today. Go ahead and let the tractor be warming up. Maggie, you should be able to leave it open.
Okay.
Okay? Well, Maggie.
What?
Just pick up any rock you see. Most of them are going to be up here because I worked it up last night and I was able to drag most of the stuff I don't want in there to the top. I definitely don't want that in there. That's a step from a deer stand.
Oh my.
Apparently there was a deer stand step in one of the trees that was in this brush pile.
Oh my gosh.
There's a big rock there.
It just broke.
I know, I think that fire got so hot, it made a lot of these rocks brittle. Because several of them have busted pretty easy. That was one of the hottest brush piles I've ever burnt.
This one literally just broke in half. Look.
I see.
There one again.
So you see them little dark strips out through there? This brush pile had a huge pile of ashes. And instead of scattering them all out right here, I scooped them up and just scattered them in amongst the pasture just to see if they help anything. They definitely aren't going to hurt anything. There's a ton of rocks in it though.
Yeah. What is this?
Looks like it was a piece of sheet metal. It ain't no telling.
cow stuffing on this.
That's right.
Tiger, don't get your feet poked.
Aw,
You missed.
I did miss. So y'all, my plan for this right here is, considering the time of year it is, we're getting into, I mean, really for our area, it's just about too late to sow grass anyways. But we're getting ready to turn the cows out on this. So if I sow grass, it's not going to do me any good anyways. They're just going to pull it right back up. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to go get me a round bale. I've still got plenty left from last year. And I'm just going to unroll it right here. And just cover the ground up with that hay. You know, the cows, if they want to, they can eat on it. If they don't want to, that's fine. That hay will just cover the ground. Most likely there's some grass seed in that hay, so something may come back up from it as well. But I think that's what I'm going to do. Maggie found her a friend, didn't you? I missed it.
It doesn't want you to catch it.
You pick up snakes and everything else and scared of a frog.
Hello. Please don't jump on my face.
Let's let him go.
Bye-bye. Enjoy your life.
All right, we've about got everything cleaned up. Might be a few more little things need to be picked up. Got a pretty good pile of rocks right there. Piece of wire. I thought I got all that yesterday. I'll go find me a ditch or a hole or something to dump those rocks into. And then I guess we'll go get us a bale of hay and see if we can't unroll it on this spot. It might be interesting. I don't have anything to unroll hay with, but we'll see what we can do.
I do not believe we found frog in the brush pile.
I know. Kind of an odd place to find a frog.
I thought it was a rock, and I still see him hopping over there.
I do too. So me and Maggie went and got us a bale of hay, and as you can see, I have Jacob now. He's done with testing. Now it's Maggie's turn. But anyways, Jacob's going to go help me see if we can get this rolled out on that spot down there. This ain't going to be easy, but the only way we've got to do it is by hand, and I may end up having to use the tractor some to roll it as well. So we'll see how it goes. But you want to drive a tractor down there for me?
Yeah. Some high reins for its second gear.
Put it in low.
There we go. Is that in low?
I think so. What number are you in?
Second.
Put it in third. That's fourth.
Oh.
Which
yeah.
that'll work too. Unlock your brake. All right, just lock a brake right there, and I want to make sure I got this thing facing so that it's going to unroll right, so I may end up having to turn around. I'll have to see which way that bale's rolled up. So I'm going to set it off like right in here somewhere, and I'm just going to roll it downhill to start with.
How are we going to unroll it over the entire tank?
That's going to be the fun part. So what we'll do is roll it plumb to the bottom of the dirt strip down there and just hope it don't take off on us. It might.
It'll hit that trailer if it does.
Oh, well, I know it. It ain't going to go too far, but
it's not leaving no hay on the ground.
give it a minute, it will. There it goes. I ain't going to stop it. I'll get run over. Well, that worked out really good. That was a bright idea. What do? We turn it the wrong way?
I don't know.
Let's see. I think it's turned the wrong way. A little easier to manage when it's
A little bitty.
little like this, ain't it?
Look like it come out of one of those little
One of those little mini balers. Yeah, that's perfect right there. That's what I was wanting.
At least it's not heavy enough it's gonna run over you.
That's right. All right, I'll go get the tractor and
Take it back up.
tote it back up. We got a bunch of hay
Yeah.
right here. Wonder if this thing's light enough, me and you could just turn it around and roll it back without using the tractor. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
It come undone. This hay got wet on the inside.
Yeah.
Go ahead and cut my tractor off.
Okay.
That first step there went about like I expected it to. So now all the hay,
It's gonna take a while if we
It's
pick
here.
all this up by hand.
we can get it. I need some exercise anyways. So I'm just gonna see if we can't pick this up in like sheets and tote it back up here to the spot where I want it. Here, can we take that together?
Nope.
Nope. There's a lot of hay laying down here instead of up there where we want it.
Yeah.
It's thick in some spots and thin in others, but that's okay. And my main goal with this is instead of leaving it bare all summer long without sowing grass in it, because if I do that, weeds and everything that I don't want is going to come up in there. There probably wouldn't be any good grasses that came up on it. With this hay on it, for the most part, that's going to prevent that from happening. And once this hay is probably good and broken down by late summer, early fall, what seeds is in there will sprout and germinate when everything starts cooling off in the fall. And hopefully this time next year, you'll never even know there was a bare spot there, and I won't even have to put any seed out. That's the plan. Now, whether that works is a different story. But I tell you what, that was my biggest chore for today. And the one I knew was going to be the most work, and I'm glad it's done. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's honestly time to plant sweet corn right now.
Is it time to plant field corn?
No, I'm going to wait a little while for the field corn. I want the ground to warm up more for the field corn. So, well, you get on that tractor. I'll let you drive it on back out of here. I'll walk.
Okay.
right, before I do any planting, I want to run over this one more time with the tiller, and I'll show you why. That Bermuda grass that I told y'all about several videos back, probably not going to do a whole lot for it by running over it with the tiller, but I at least want to try to break some more of it loose, so hopefully it'll die back some. But see, I mean, even that little sprig right there, I mean, it's done took root and trying to grow. We're going to have a battle with that Bermuda grass out here in this spot for quite some time, actually. So I know we'll at least be battling it this year, probably still next year too. But what I'm going to be planting here, like I said before, I did plant me a row of carrots right there. Let's look and see if any of them's coming up. They're not. I don't see anything. They may not come up because I have neglected watering these things, y'all. The only water they've had is what rain we've had. The only thing I see coming up is some crabgrass right there. I don't see a carrot nowhere. So we'll see. They were planted with my push planter, which does put them just a tad bit deeper in the ground, so it'll take them longer to come up since they're done that way. I'll give them a little while though. I may actually come out and water them this evening or something. But anyways, what we're going to be working on today, and just to be clear, if they don't come up, I don't care really. I was just doing it just to see if they would. We already have the carrot bed over yonder that's actually looking quite nice now. But we're going to plant probably 1, 2, 3 rows of corn right here. And then right here, I'm probably going to be looking at some type of bean. We'll just see. Actually, I'll see what the boss lady thinks when she comes out here and see if she thinks it'll be all right to go ahead and plant some October beans. But I'm definitely planting corn today. Well, while I was tilling, I thought there wasn't no carrots coming up. I've actually already told everybody there wasn't no carrots coming up, and I think I got plumb disappointed not seeing no carrots. But there's actually carrots coming up.
Are they coming up?
They caught my eye while I was tilling. They're right here on the end. Where are they now? Right here. There's just a few starting to pop up right there. Right there's a couple.
They're hard to see.
They're really hard to see, so hopefully in the next couple of days we really see a bunch more popping up.
Hopefully so. Because I got a good feeling about them being right here. Right there's one.
Do you?
Yeah, right there's one.
Well, they'll do all right as long as the grass don't take them over first. Right there. All right. What do you think about planting some October beans today? Huh?
I don't know.
I know you think it's too early, but I think we can do it. I think we can pull it off.
Well, I guess we can.
Hey, the worst that can happen is I have to replant them.
That's true. That's true.
And we have plenty of seed. So if we did have to replant them, we don't got to buy no more seed.
Yeah.
And I still plan on planting a another row too. This would just be one row up here.
Okay. Well,
Or do we even need them this year? Because we planted a lot last year. Do we need to plant a lot this year?
Nah, not as much as last year.
Really? All right, Megan. Here's my thinking. We'll lay off our rows with some string, or at least with some sticks, so I'll have some guidelines to, to keep them the same distance apart. But I'm gonna have a row of corn here, be a short row, then a row of corn about right here, and a row of corn here, and that should leave me plenty of room for a row of beans down through here, but I won't really truly know till we measure off our rows.
Well, I'm gonna plant 3 rows of corn.
We'll be 3 rows here. If I can squeeze in 4, we'll get 4.
Okay.
But you know, this will just be the first crop.
Okay.
So I also want to mention the reason we're going to plant our corn here in this new spot is because many of y'all know corn is a heavy feeding plant, and I want to plant it in the new ground because we've been planting corn down on the bottom side of that other garden for years. So I'm going to plant my first crop anyways. I'm going to plant it here in some new ground. And also, the second reason is back to the Bermuda grass. The corn I will be able to continually till throughout the year. It's not going to spread out to the point I can't get a tiller through it until it's up head high, and then at that point it's kind of shading the ground out anyways. But I want a crop here that's not going to sprawl out and take a bunch of room up, because I want to be able to keep this tilled all year long so I can try to kill out that Bermuda grass. That's my main thing, is I wanted something here that I could keep on the tilling.
So
Tiger gonna tear my carrots up, ain't she?
Between Tiger and Maggie. Maggie stepped on them down there.
Can't have nothing around here. But anyways, yeah, I want something here that I can keep tilled so I can hopefully, probably not going to kill the Bermuda grass, but at least knock it down quite a bit.
Well, and also back in the day, you know, before there was such a thing as fertilizer, they like to plant corn on new ground anyway.
Right. That's
was,
right. And I'm hoping that it does pretty good.
Yeah,
here.
I hope so too.
So
The dirt looks good out here though.
it does look pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I'll be using my house planter to plant it.
Okay.
But I don't guess we need to get these rows laid off before I go and get my planter.
Well, I know you were looking at the serendipity this morning. We're going to plant Honey Select though, right?
Yeah, we'll plant Honey Select now.
Okay.
At some point we'll plant some more serendipity, but
I just have to make sure I have enough corn to put up. We
I know
we
you do.
enjoy corn, so
I know.
I got to make sure that I'm going to have.
Well, I'm going to tell you something
Enough.
too. These rows here, you've mentioned I'm only going to plant 3 rows. These rows are probably actually going to turn off better than down there because we had such a problem with the end being shaded
True.
last year. This spot up here actually gets more sun than that does.
So the whole thing should make good corn.
Yeah, all the rows should make good corn. Where down there, it was kind of like the front half of the garden did really good and the back half was sort of spotty.
I got you.
So,
Okay.
anyways, let's get our rows laid off. Then we'll get our planters and everything together and we'll be done. All right, so I'm going to measure roughly off of my carrot bed there, 36 inches. And that gives me plenty of room. Actually, let's put it there. That gives me plenty of room to run the tiller between this and the first corn row. And we'll do the same out here on this end. 36. And so what I do when I plant my corn, instead of pulling a string across this, what you could do, I'll take and just start my planter here or out there and run straight line to this right here, and that'll keep me roughly 36 inches away from that. And then I'm going to go 36 inches from this one. Bring me a stick, Jacob. That gives you plenty of room to get through with a tiller. They're close enough to pollinate, but they're close enough also that once they get a good canopy, they'll shade the ground out. Well, it turns out you are going to have enough room for 4 rows of corn.
Yay. All right.
So we'll have 3 full length rows and 1 short row. So I guess it'll be technically 3.5 rows.
Yeah. Another reason I was asking is because, you know, our spring corn always does better.
Right. You want more of
We
it.
always have the better corn in the spring.
Well, that's going to put the row of of beans about right here.
Okay.
So that'll be perfect.
Yeah,
That leaves me plenty of room to get through here with a tiller beside this grapevine too.
that corn won't shade out the beans?
Huh?
The corn won't shade out the beans?
It shouldn't, because the corn's gonna be over there. The sun usually tracks on this side of the sky.
Okay.
So the corn should be behind the beans.
Okay.
Okie dokie. There's my row markers. I believe what I'm going to do to help shape all this up so it'll look more like a row is run my tiller in between where each row is going to be, and that'll kind of help make it look a little more like a row. I always like to plant corn on the flat ground. That way you can always roll dirt to it.
You got plenty of dirt to hill it with.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that done exactly what I wanted it to do. I don't think it's picking up too much on camera, but now from stick to stick, it actually looks like a row. Here in real life it does anyways. So y'all just asked if I knew how to make a whistle out of grass. Of course I do. I'm the master at it. You want to see? Let's see if ain't none of these quite long enough.
It's got to be a fat piece of grass.
Well, here's a short pieces. I said I could do it.
You're the master.
I know what happened. Let me get a different piece. I'm gonna make a fool of myself on camera here.
Here, you want to try?
Yeah.
You got to hold it. My granny taught me how to do it. We used to do it all the time.
Uh-oh. Y'all, I'm gonna make a fool out of myself. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Why ain't it working? There it went. It was loud, wasn't it?
It was loud.
Listen, I can play a tune with it. Hear that?
Yeah. Look at Tiger. She said, what have you got? What is that noise?
That is loud.
It is loud. That was a good one.
All right, that's all I got to do. I'm out of breath now.
I was doing it a while ago.
That was the loudest one I've ever done.
Oh my God.
All right, I got the old Hoss planter out here, and maybe we can find the video, but last spring we did somewhat of a comparison video on the Hoss planter versus the Earthway planter, which we also have one of those as well. And I will tell you, there's cons and pros to both of them, but this Hoss planter works a lot better in trashy soil where this has had the leaves tilled into it. There's still little clumps of sod and all that stuff. This works a lot better in that kind of stuff because you've got those disc openers right there, and they just roll over top of the ground instead of the little slide that's on the Earthway planter. It drags anything that it encounters. This right here rolls over top of it. But this thing is quite a bit more expensive than the Earthway planter. And the Earthway will get the job done because we've used the Earthway planter for, well, forever. Ever since we started gardening. I've had an Earthway planter for a very long time. Like we always say, if you're interested in some Hoss stuff, Hoss seeds, Hoss tools, whatever you're interested in, we do have a link in the description for them. It's always there, so just in case you want to, it'll directly take you to their website. So in it right now, I have a number 4 plate, and there's 4 holes in it. And The number 4 is for sweet corn, and it's one I've been using for sweet corn. It works pretty good for the corn. The size of the holes and everything work pretty good for the sweet corn. Then I don't know if this is a number 6 or a number 9. It's one or the other. But I'm going to be using this plate for my Supremo beans because this is the biggest hole plate they have. Now these are made out of like a really thick, like heavy duty plastic. And if you need to customize the plate, you can. You can take a bigger drill bit and drill those holes out to customize it for like a really big seed or something. Since the corn plate is what's in there, that's what I'm going to plant first. Now I've got my Honey Select sweet corn here. Now this is our Honey Select corn seed. The pink you see on there is a seed treatment. I guess it's like a fungicide type treatment. And sweet corn is really bad about dampening off and rotting. Like the corn seed will rot in the ground and all that. And when you've got treated seed, that really helps out with that problem. Now when you put your corn seed into this planter, you don't want to overfill it above this little silver piece here. So we're just going to put just a little in there. And that right there might be enough to plant all of it. We'll see. Corn goes a long ways. So the way this works is what I'm going to do is just sight from this stick. I'm going to start right here at this stick and drive straight towards that stick down there. Now I'm probably not going to be perfectly straight, but we're going to do our best. There we go. All right, this will be the last row of sweet corn. If it stays warm, which it's supposed to, that corn will be popping up here in probably about 5 or 6 days. And so to empty out the hopper, just have to take that little wing nut off, pull that out. There's little brushes in there. Make sure you don't have no seed stuck in those. Then you can just pull this whole hopper up and dump it right in there. We're going to change out the plate. Right there's your plate. I'm going to check this just to make sure those bean seeds fit through this plate. But see, here's the thing. These October beans are big. And they fit through that way, but if you get one like that, it don't want to fit. So you know what we might go do? Let's go drill this out to a bigger hole. I think I've got a drill bit I can use on that. And if 2 beans go down at one time, that ain't gonna be no big deal. Well, I ended up finding me a bit that had a 1/2 inch hole in it. And I found a bit that was just a little bigger than a 1/2 inch. But now, a bean seed fits in there pretty good. And there is a chance that drilling it out that big, it's gonna put 2 beans per hole instead of 1. But that'll be okay with these beans here. I wouldn't really want to do corn that way, but beans, that'll be okay. While I've got this thing apart, I'll show you how it works. So I've got it up on its jack stand right there. This back wheel spins that chain, comes around here and spins that gear, and when that gear spins that plate around. And if you can see, there's a hole right there. And then that drops it down that tube right there, and those discs open up a slot in the ground for the seed to fall into, then this right here somewhat covers them back up. So that's how it works. See there? And then that hole right there just carries the seed around until it gets to that hole and it falls down through there. Now we have to put this little red piece back in. Then these brushes go right between some notches. Now that you do not want tight, because if you've got that nut tight, none of this will spin. So I'll show you. Crank down on it and it's locked up. So you've got to have that where that flows freely. And those little brushes pretty much help knock the seed down through that hole, and they actually help keep from getting more than one seed in the hole as well. All right, let's go put these in the ground. Oh, it's definitely carrying them down. Uh-oh, we locked up. So that's something else, y'all, where the design of this thing, sometimes a seed can get caught in that hole and it'll lock the planter up. If it does lock up, just roll backwards a little ways and it usually frees everything up and you can just continue on going. Well, I believe for today that's going to be all of the gardening. I'm hoping, I hope we ain't bit the bullet here and went in it just a little bit too early, but I believe we'll be just fine. And one thing y'all will notice is I did not fertilize any of this go around. Typically out here in the yard where it's right here where I can watch it all the time, I don't fertilize the day I plant. I'll go back later and just side dress it with something, and just honestly I can just look at it and say, well, that looks like it needs fertilizer, so I'll fertilize it. But sometimes stuff out here does so good it don't even need fertilizer, so I don't put it out. But I'll keep a check on that. That'll be something I do later down the road. Well, it's planted.
All right, that's exciting.
I know. Are you excited?
Yeah.
I am too. Man, the camera, I mean, wind's blowing my camera. It's so bad out here. I'm excited too. I'm excited to see little green plants popping up everywhere.
Yep, and hopefully by the time it grows a little bit, it won't have no more chance of frost anyway. So
yeah, and you know, with corn, if it gets just a little bit of frost on it when it's first popping up, it may stun it back some, but it doesn't hurt it.
Right.
Now the beans, on the other hand,
oh yeah,
if they get frost, they're done.
Well, so, we've got a big bag, so
we've got a bag we haven't even opened yet.
Yeah, so
so
it'll be all right.
I think so.
But anyways, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Hope you might have learned a little something. Until we see y'all on the next one.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.